Call in, guys. Talk to me nice.
Welcome back to Sports Tea. Welcome back to Sports Tea.
Talk to me nice. Nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sports Tea. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, whatever you want to call it. Welcome on in, everyone. If you can hear me, shout out a 1 for me in the chat. Can you guys hear me okay? Salute to Miami Heat Zone. I see you guys. Salute. Welcome on in, everybody. As you load into the room, do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and most importantly, share the video. If you like Sports Tea and you're having a good time when you come in here, share this video out on your social media. Share it with your friends and family. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But thank you all for being here. Tonight, we do have a pretty cool show planned. We're going to jump right into the first topic, LeBron James. We're going to talk about a few different things. Obviously, there's been so many different reports flying around about LeBron and what's next for him, right? What's going to happen with the Lakers and his relationship. And I think it's a really interesting time for LeBron. This is the first time in his career where he's not the focus, right? The Lakers have basically said, hey, we're not going to extend you. We're not offering an extension. So, your time with us is going to be over, whether you like it or not, in a year. So we're not extending. You don't want a team-friendly deal. That's what was reported last season. Last season, we got the report that LeBron James was willing to stay with the Lakers and sign a team-friendly deal. They went out and got the elusive center that he wanted. And then it became, oh, no, now you want to get a center for Luka. So, it's more about petty jealousy and different sort of power struggles with LeBron James that I'm seeing right now than what the report originally was, right? About him wanting to compete for a title. This seems like a huge power struggle between LeBron and the Lakers have all the leverage and all the power. So they have this contract with LeBron. They knew that he was going to try to extend his time in this league and pretty much steal money probably for another 5 years or so, but that wasn't part of their plan. That just wasn't part of the plan. Rob Pelinka, he's close to the ownership. He knew of this sale that was happening with the Lakers, and quite frankly, he's got to try to protect himself and his job. The new ownership is very close with Magic Johnson. There is a very high likelihood that Magic Johnson is coming back to the Lakers franchise. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Rob is going to get fired or get fired right away. But I see Magic Johnson back in the Lakers franchise. He could be somehow Rob Pelinka's boss, or really just take his job right back. So, I'm curious to see what unfolds there. But LeBron James seems to be beat at his own game. The Lakers, they saw miles ahead of what was going to happen, and they did their good deed. They did right by LeBron James. They let him draft his son. They allowed for that. They allowed for a circus. They allowed for LeBron James to make a complete mockery of the NBA and the Lakers franchise. And then they go out and sign Luka Doncic, and all of a sudden they're out from under the clutch umbrella. They're out from under this chokehold that LeBron has had on the organization. So now they have the power, they have the leverage, right? And there's been just different reports, and really, quite frankly, the Lakers, they are, they're heading to a place of, hey, I'm looking toward the future. Right? So the Lakers, they're headed towards looking towards their future. That's what they're planning for, right? It's not the LeBron James show anymore, because it definitely wasn't a Lake show. It was the LeBron James show. It was the Brondashians. I mean, it still is until LeBron James leaves the Lakers. They are the Brondashians. That's the story. So yes, LeBron James, he's not used to this, guys. He's not used to playing second fiddle to anyone, to all of the decisions not being ran by him, players joining the team that he's not, it used to be his guys. It used to be Clutch and his guys coming and being traded to the team, making deals. He used to have the inside scoop. But now it's Doncic and his guys. It's Luka and his team. DeAndre Ayton, he's under the Luka umbrella. It's no longer LeBron. It's no longer the Brondashians taking over the Lakers. So they're trying to get their franchise back. It was great that they were able to sell the franchise for $10 billion. They get to hide behind a lot of the decision making at this point. So, that's something that we really need to take a look at, guys, and understand that LeBron James he's feeling like this is the end. And he wants to be in control of how he's going to leave the league. But now Luka and this trade, it throws a huge monkey wrench into his plan. He was probably going to bring Bryce onto the Lakers, and it was going to be just literally the James family show. The Brondashians were going to take over this team. It was going to be LeBron, Bronny, Bryce, all on one team. All the stories, all the narratives would be about how, LeBron is going to finish his career in LA. And I still think that there's a high chance that he doesn't leave the Lakers. But there's a lot of chatter in Vegas right now is reporting that the Mavericks are the team with the highest odds to land LeBron James. That's the report. And the 4 and 6 kingdom, the LeBron James jockstrap sniffers, they are up in arms. They are upset. Maverick fans are upset. They don't want LeBron James. This is not what they want to see. I was watching Ticket TV earlier, and people were jumping in the comments. This is not what we want to see. And Ticket's like, well, you're going to see it. This is what the players want. This is what Kyrie Irving wants. This is what Anthony Davis wants. They want to play with LeBron James. Jason Kidd wants it. Phil Handy is, on the coaching staff there. So it seems like they have the infrastructure set up for LeBron James to be traded to the Mavericks. And I think that that's something that could happen. They're also saying that Cooper Flagg could be included in this trade. And that's a high possibility. I think the Dallas Mavericks would be very silly to trade for LeBron James and give up Cooper Flagg. They're giving up Dallas's new hype, essentially. They got rid of Luka, and Cooper Flagg sort of, it satisfies that appetite for a great white hype in Dallas. And he's actually good. So I think that, and I hope that they invest in him. I would not want to see Cooper Flagg on the Lakers. He would have to develop under Luka Doncic, who doesn't defend. I just don't think that that's the best example for him. So maybe there's multiple teams that are involved. Maybe there's a third team that becomes involved so that Cooper Flagg maybe gets a better home than the Lakers, that, a place where he can really develop. And I hope that what I hope for Cooper Flagg is that he is not only just able to develop, but stay in a warm climate. So I think that he would benefit from, being in a Houston, Dallas, staying in Texas and in that area where there's a warm climate for him to develop and to truly, work on his game. I just think it's really great for players. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous for LeBron James to be going to yet another team. So 5 teams. And let's just say he wins a title. This is not going to silence LeBron James going to the Mavericks and, let's say, winning a title with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, whereas he might have stuck it to the Lakers. and added another title to his resume, he's not going to silence the critics. The critics aren't going to be silenced. The haters are not going to stop hating. The narrative will be that LeBron James went to 5 teams to win 5 rings, and every time it got hard, he left. The narrative will be that, he just couldn't win any meaningful titles without Kyrie Irving, the truly gifted one between the two of them. The narrative will be that he's just hanging on. He rode the coattails of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. Anthony Davis and his defense, ability to play in the paint, and Kyrie Irving's incredible shot making and scoring ability. I mean, that would be the narrative. The narrative would not be, oh, LeBron won his 5th ring and great leader. I don't think so. I don't think the narrative, they're going to try it. They're going to push for it, just like the way that they did in the Olympics, granting him Olympics MVP. Like, I can see them, going that far with it. I really can. But at the same time, I just think that LeBron James, he's constantly trying to manufacture, right? And so him going to the Mavericks, I think it's a great situation for him. No tax. So state tax free. That's a great place to work, right? And then again, you get to play alongside Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, guys who have constantly bailed you out, guys who took the heavy load, the criticism. While you got credit for the wins, they got credit for the losses. So if LeBron James is going to Dallas, he gets to go to a team where he's able to control the minds of Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. But at the same time, now they're reporting. So after reporting that LeBron James is on the hunt for a championship, he needs to do what's best for himself. Now he's courtside at Summer League. Dave McMenamin asking him, what is he going to do? Oh, I ain't got nothing to say. That's what he's telling folks. I ain't got nothing to say. But yet every other day, it seems like you have something to say, whether it's on Mind the Game, something to say, whether it's Rich Paul coming out with some ridiculous statement of not talking yet talking. The best was when he said that he wasn't going to explain himself. They have nothing to rebuttal. But he went on to explain himself and to give a rebuttal. So, Rich Paul, the leader of the Clutch Clan, LeBron James, leader of the 4 and 6 Kingdom. I mean, I just think that they together are a diabolical media machine. And they have built this force field of lies, manipulation, and their fans they fall for it. They fall for it. They're easily tricked and manipulated. And these are the blind witnesses, right? That continue to push these narratives and repeat these ridiculous lies that he tells. But Rich Paul, he was on Sirius Radio, and he talked about how they don't need to explain themselves, but went on to explain in a lengthy interview. And this is now his 2nd interview within a matter of days, just to talk about how they're not going to talk and to give elusive statements and comments about LeBron James and his tenure on the Lakers, and will it continue? That's what we want to know. Will you stay or will you go? That's just what we want to know. And obviously, they don't know. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what's exactly in the cards. They know what they want to do. They don't know exactly what the play is, because guess what? The Lakers aren't saying much, and they don't have to. They don't have to react. They don't have to respond. They don't have to say shit. They can ignore LeBron James and pay them the same. The Lakers can do the same thing that they did last year and the year before that. They can give them the same amount of attention they always have, which is really none. Every time they do these media stunts, the Lakers don't really do much. They sit back, they watch Clutch Sports, and then they strike. And so that's what they've done in this situation. They've watched them a lot. They've observed a lot. They've said very little. And then they just went ahead and pounced on that Luka deal and blew LeBron James and Clutch Sports right out of the water, right? And so now they're in this passive aggressive sort of stance where LeBron James is just going to keep pushing out different narratives every other day. Rich Paul is probably going to take to the media as much and as often as he can, thinking that they're going to be able to draw them out. They want to be able to draw the Lakers out. They want to be able to essentially get them to react. They want some reaction. It's like a child sort of that is looking for attention, and they don't care if it's positive or negative. So that's where they're at right now. They're headed towards this nasty divorce. If he does leave, it's going to be a bad breakup for sure. But in the meantime, and if the Lakers were smart, they would just keep LeBron James this year, let his contract run out, maybe bench him, don't put him on the floor to upset the rest of the team. And, see what he does. Play him in particular games where he's going to have a good moment. And, let his career with the Lakers sunset and let him figure out if he's going to retire or trade himself to another team. But the Lakers are smart to not let it be their fault. They're just carrying out business as usual. They're building the pieces around Luka like they said that they would. They haven't lied or deceived anybody so far. They've been straight up with the American public, but LeBron James is playing these games. So, Rich Paul, like I said, he was on Sirius radio, and I have some sound for you guys of what he had to say about, LeBron James enjoying the summer and, just loads of bullshit. It's just more capping, more protection of LeBron James, and he's just trying to get ahead of any bad narratives. He's trying to get ahead of any bad publicity and just keep talking. And I feel like Rich Paul is sort of like a filibuster. If he just keeps talking, we'll forget about whatever he said maybe a couple of minutes ago. So here's what he said recently about LeBron James and their camp not needing to respond to everything.
There's so many voices in today's game and around today's game and media and things like that. And everyone has a job to do. For us, hey, let those people do their job. It's not for us to rebuttal or to try to give clarity on what's said, what's not said. That's not the focus. The focus is, hey, man, enjoy your summer. Obviously, I wear a lot of different hats, so I have a lot of things on my plate that I'm doing. I'm in the office every day at the UTA campus right there in Beverly Hills, working hard every day. So that's my focus. I'm not, you can't dispel everything someone has to say.
Yeah.
And you've been around this thing a long time. There's never been an expectation on anyone like it's been on him. But my thing is just continue to find your joy. You can't go out here and try to prove everyone wrong or, align with or wanting to make sure that everyone is right. The critique is going to be the critique. And this is for all players, by the way. I think everyone's journey is a lot different. The success of some and the failures or the so-called failures of others, it depends on what lens you're looking out of. And I know how hard it is to get to the NBA. I know how hard it is to stay in the NBA. I know how hard it is to have consistency while being in the NBA. And, it's easy for us to critique sitting behind these microphones. But, the respect level for all the guys playing, and I know the respect level, obviously, for someone at LeBron's level and his tenure and all the things he's accomplished. Again, you can't buy into those things, but people got to do their job. And so we understand that, and he understands that. But I think how you do things is what my focus is. And it's been class personified, pretty much for the most part, in any organization, and you have to remain that way.
Rich Paul is just it's just a bunch of bullshit. Again, class personified. How has LeBron represented himself with class? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Pulling up on Stephen A. Smith courtside in the middle of a Laker game, that was class personified. Running to the Pat McAfee show, talking about how Wilt Chamberlain was just bigger, stronger, faster. They weren't smart back then. That was class personified. Repeating things like, we done with the 90s. That's class personified. I'm so confused. Talking about how Michael Jordan retired in 1993 because his father died, that was class personified? When you got knocked out in the first round and they asked you about the physical load that you had during the playoffs, and you said, "Oh, you're not gonna talk about that because your bro AD was traded after complaining about needing a center," that was class personified, talking about your organization and the decisions that they made to bring on a 25-year-old Luka Doncic? When, by the way, you have a no trade clause, so you're in control of where you could be traded or if you could be traded, but that's class personified. Got it. Saying that Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game never exists, that's class personified. Oh, I'm not going to talk about it as I proceed to go and talk about it. I don't need to give any explanation as I go on a media tour to explain all these other things. I talk about Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan's agent. I can talk about everything else under the sun that has nothing to do with basketball, things that nobody asked for. But yet, you can't share whether you're interested in going to the Mavericks or not. You don't got nothing to say. You can't share if the reports are true that you didn't reach out to DeAndre Ayton to congratulate him and welcome him to the team, regardless of you leaving. This is a franchise that you spent 7 seasons with. You can't welcome the center that you've been begging for to the team. I think it's laughable that LeBron James behaves in this way. And he throws he throws the rock and hides its hand. I mean, that's just what he does. LeBron James he's not genuine or authentic. And I think that that's why so many NBA fans don't respect him and have, the problems that they have with him. We're never going to respect LeBron James the way we did Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or even like a Kevin Garnett. There's guys that garner your respect and there's guys that don't. And LeBron James, there's so many holes in his leadership on the court, and his play on the court, in his behaviors, how he carries himself. And it's just, like I said, it's quite shameful. But Rich Paul, I think that when he comes out and says these kinds of things, he's just opening himself up to more criticism. And nobody believes him. Nobody believes a goddamn thing that Rich Paul says. And so my question to you guys and to me is why are LeBron James and Rich Paul, why are they backpedaling from their prior comments? So you're looking to compete for a title. You understand that the Lakers might not be aligned in that same mission. That's basically what he said. So when he said that the Lakers are preparing for their future and we're looking for an opportunity to win now and to compete for a title, you're saying that, hey, you and the Lakers are not on the same page. So that was the first thing. Now you're running to say LeBron never demanded a trade. He never asked for a trade. We want to be clear in that. LeBron James isn't asking for a trade, but I want to come out in earlier days and make sure that you guys know that, hey, Clutch Sports, LeBron James, we're not in alignment with the Lakers and their organization or what they're trying to do with Luka Doncic. We're letting you know that just in case if we stay here and lose another year. Well, we didn't want to be here. We really wanted to be competing for a title. So there's all different ways that you can go with this. And it's just kind of like they set themselves up in a way where no matter what, they can't lose. No matter what, they can't look bad. So if they stay with the Lakers this year, okay, great. He didn't leave and jump to another team. Okay, great. They were the ones that made these decisions to plan for their future and to, not continue to invest and win now. So they're putting those narratives out there, right? But if I do get traded to the Mavericks, then great. I have an opportunity to compete. And that's what we were looking to do. And, the Lakers treated me so poorly, so I had to leave. I had to pack myself up and Carlton Banks on out of there. The greatest father-son duo that was, I don't know, just a minus 70 for the season. The Lakers treated me so poorly. They did everything that I asked them for, but you know what? I can't give back to them. I can't set them up for success. I can't work with them to make sure that they have a future that's secure, that they're continuing to be a relevant franchise after I leave. Nope. I just want to gouge them of every single resource that they have. So that's where, that's where LeBron James and the Lakers are at right now. Like I said, I don't approve of LeBron James going to the Mavericks, but could it fit? Is it a good plan for him? Absolutely. But I don't love it. I don't respect it. And I don't think that Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis should want it either. I don't care if they made up with LeBron James. They shouldn't want to play alongside him. They should want to carve out their own legacy that, is outside of him. Don't keep on saving him. But LeBron James always has to be saved. Look, the problem and why people need to save LeBron is because he's always on the run from something. He's always ducking the smoke. He's always shirking his responsibility and I think a duty to compete. I think that all players in the league have a fiduciary responsibility to the NBA, to themselves, to their teams, to their families, to NBA fans watching at home, to compete, to get out there and play their best, and to at every moment look for different opportunities to compete and to surprise and delight NBA fans that really support them and this league. But LeBron James, unfortunately, he looks for almost every opportunity to not do that. And there are plenty of legends in the game that notice that and point that out, that are disappointed. Last week, we talked about Jason Richardson. He was a 2-time dunk contest winner. He commented on his disappointment of LeBron James not competing in the dunk contest. And it is disappointing, right? And one of the best dunkers in all of NBA history, one of the best players in all of NBA history to never win a title, Dominique Wilkins, one of the best small forwards in NBA history, who I think is by far and away and by a wide margin better, more skilled than LeBron James ever was. He had something to say about it. This story has it, and he said something about this a few times. This is resurfacing again. It resurfaced on Basketball Network and now also on Yahoo Sports. And so, I thought that this article on Yahoo Sports, it was really interesting. I really did. I thought that I've always felt that LeBron James left something on the table as it pertains to the dunk competition. I always thought that he cheated NBA fans by not participating in the dunk competition. I always felt that that was just a huge blemish, on LeBron James's career, honestly, that he's never done this, that he's broken the tradition. It's almost like he's broken the code. And when you break code, it really, it creates a shift, right? So it creates a shift. And now there's sort of this new NBA, this new all-star, this new way of approaching all-star and the competition surrounding it, right? So, I think that it's something that it's sad. For me, it's sad growing up in the 90s and seeing how the greatest stars, the greatest athletes, they go to All-Star, they recognize that this is the best collection of players in the league competing against each other. And this is a fantasy essentially for NBA fans. This is a treat for NBA fans to see this level of competition and collection of players all in one space. And we're only going to see that for 2 days. We're only going to see that for a weekend, right? So why not give it your best? Why not give NBA fans that support you that you would not, you wouldn't be here without the fans. So why not give us your best? So we haven't been getting that out of NBA All-Star. And, Dominique Wilkins, he's had quite a bit to say about LeBron James not participating. I want to read this article with you guys. And like I said, I caught it on Yahoo Sports, but it was first reported and I saw it. So it's been over the course of the years he's criticized this, but I saw this a while back on Basketball Network, and now this is resurfacing again, and Yahoo Sports has picked this up. And I would love for you guys to see this. So one moment. Alrighty, guys. So LeBron James, throughout his career, could have competed in any dunk contest. This is what Dominique Wilkins talks about, as far as LeBron missing an opportunity to compete in the dunk contest. So he goes on to say, LeBron, throughout his career, could have competed in any dunk contest. Dominique Wilkins was an unforgettable NBA player who loved to excite NBA fans every time he stepped on the floor. The Atlanta Hawks legend was best known for his aerial acrobatics and vicious dunks, most of which were seen in the NBA Slam Dunk contest he participated in. The two-time NBA Slam Dunk champion admitted there were many players who could have given basketball fans a treat in the All-Star Games dunk contest event. One name that comes to mind is LeBron James, who Neek feels could have wowed fans with his slams. LeBron, throughout his career, could have competed in any dunk contest. It would have been great to see him get in one, the 9-time All-Star said when he appeared on the Jackson podcast. LeBron broke the slam dunk contest tradition, considering NBA greats such as Julius Erving, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and himself joined the annual event. It would have made sense for LeBron to participate as well. Unfortunately, it never happened, and James shed light on why he never joined. I don't think it was something I wanted to accomplish in my career. LeBron said to Brandon Robinson of Bally Sports, "It's not a goal of mine, and it never was coming into the NBA to be part of the dunk contest." Unfortunate as it may have been, Wilkins respected LBJ's decision. He knows that James had a lot on his plate and had good reasons for not participating in any slam dunk contest. Well, I disagree. So I don't respect his decision. Participating in the slam dunk contest it's not an accomplishment. You do it for the fans. It's not something to necessarily accomplish. Winning it is an accomplishment, but participating is almost like you should feel required. So Dominique Wilkins says, in today's world, you got so many things that's distracting you. Do you really have time for, especially a guy at his level, a lot of respect for him. Now, would LBJ have won a slam dunk title? That's a good question, right, guys? Seeing as LBJ would have been surreal given his athleticism and ability to throw down the ball in the cylinder. However, another former NBA player, Cedric Ceballos, said James wouldn't have won anyway. He says, "I do not think LeBron would have achieved in the dunk contest." Ceballos, in the 1992 Slam Dunk champion, he said on Byron Scott's podcast, "I mean, powerful dunker, dunks on a lot of people, but the trickery, the suaveness, no." With his goals set, James' decision to pass on joining any slam dunk contest was clear. But for those who are wondering if LeBron ever tried joining a slam dunk contest, the answer is yes. Bron participated in the 2003 McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest, better known as the Powerade Jam Fest at Cleveland State University's Woodling Gym. James was still a high school senior at the time and faced Shannon Brown and J.R. Giddens in the finals.
A ridiculous athlete.
Man, oh man. LeBron James, when you take a look at this competition, I mean, it was regular, right? I mean, you see him kind of, he's got some basic dunks, no real true creativity here at this McDonald's competition. You see football players judging this. And he's got lift. And I mean, look at how they wore the uniform back then. Very baggy, practically that was back when t-shirt dresses were in. This was the worst era of fashion for hip hop and the NBA. The baggy jerseys, absolutely awful. When Allen Iverson sort of changed I thought it was awful. When people want to credit Allen Iverson to that, I mean, maybe the braids and the hairstyle, fine, but the fashion, awful. Now, I wouldn't necessarily trade that for handbags and purses.
You do nail it. God bless you. Look out.
But how do you jump with your pants pulled down like this?
He double clutched.
You know, he went up.
But anyway, LeBron James, what you see, in that video was the reason why he doesn't want to compete in the slam dunk competition. He didn't believe in himself. He really lost that competition, honestly. Shannon Brown was better. Everybody else was better. And he won because he was LeBron James. And I mean, he could have competed ceremoniously for us and won the same way. I mean, he's won a couple of titles just because he was LeBron James, not necessarily because he was the best on the floor, the best. I mean, let's be for real. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting that I just thought it was really interesting that this keeps coming up. The slam dunk contest keeps coming up. And why do you guys think that LeBron has never competed in the dunk contest? I'm curious to know like what you guys think of that and why he keeps ducking the smoke. Give us at least one. Right? I do want to stop for a moment and read the super chats that came through. Thank you so much, Raphael the G, for $5.55 super chat. Really appreciate you. I'm hoping the Fraud King will retire next year. Question though, T, if LeBron goes to another team, does this legacy take a hit? Love your channel, new sub. Absolutely. I think that his legacy not only takes a hit, I think that we're going to, LeBron James detractors, the naysayers, the haters, the critics, we're going to annihilate him if he trades himself to the Mavs. If he's bought out, to me, that's completely embarrassing. As somebody that's comparing themselves to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. He was allowed to sit on the Lakers and just do nothing in those last couple of seasons. It goes to how beloved he was as a player and as a valued asset to their franchise. LeBron James is not valued anymore. They don't want him. They're saying, we want you out. So I think his legacy absolutely takes a hit if he doesn't retire a Laker, and he just can't be considered a Laker great. We wouldn't want to give him a title there. Laker fans, they would not want him to have a title. I'm not a title, a statue. Excuse me. They would not want him to have a statue. Laker Nation, I don't think that they would get jiggy with that, and his legacy is definitely going to take a hit. Thank you so much, Raphael the G. Another $2.22 super chat. We about tired of the clutch talking points. Just go. I'm with you there. Totally with you. But the cap, the manufacturing, the constant ducking of the smoke. If you avoid the slam dunk competition because if he competes and he loses, then he can't be compared to Michael Jordan. So it's just like LeBron James has been so insecure for so long and for so much of his career that he's cheated NBA fans as a result of it. You don't want to be compared to Michael Jordan. You're worried you're not going to win this when he could have manufactured a win for the dunk competition. Show up and compete. Give the fans something. But what I've seen is that LeBron James doesn't really love the fans. And he thinks that he's above all-star, above the league, above the things that players do to surprise and delight NBA fans and to give us something. So that's not surprising. And it's not surprising that with all-star games being where they are, the lack of defense that has been in the league over the past at least minimum 10 to 15 years. Yes, it's starting to come back. The mid-range is starting to come back. Teams are playing defense. We're seeing that in the playoffs at least, right? That's happening. But LeBron James seems to actually believe that the game is in the best place that it's ever been. He's never done this. He's never won a dunk competition or even, actually participated, right? But he actually believes that the NBA is in the best state that it's ever been. The game is better than it's ever been. And he talked about that on Mind the Game on his podcast, him and Steve Nash. It was the season finale. And guys, finally, it felt like such a very long season for me. Season 2 of Mind the Game, just so dragged out, long, awful, so many lies and false narratives that we've had to come into this room and debunk together. And it's just been a flat out disgrace. But this is the season finale, and they did it in New York City, of all places, you know, at Fanatics Fest, basically. And you would think, right, something called Mind the Game, something that is supposed to be such an intimate thing, right? You're sitting down, you're sharing your thoughts on the game, you should be analyzing the game. That's what you should be doing, right? LeBron James doesn't really seem to do that. You know, this episode, this season finale of Mind the Game, the premise of this whole show essentially is sort of like what's right about the NBA today. That's basically the premise of this season finale. And I've actually never heard LeBron, of all the episodes that I've watched, I've never heard LeBron have any actual analysis on Mind the Game. I see him gossiping. I see him just, I don't know, like he doesn't usually say anything so meaningful. And so him and Steve Nash, they're talking about depth in the league. They're talking in spurts about certain moments throughout the finals and things that they saw in the Pacers and, you know, in OKC. They talk about matchups and how matchups can be scary. And Steve Nash, obviously, he speaks about the game much more eloquently than LeBron James does, ever has, ever could. That's probably why he has Steve Nash there. I talked about this earlier, where, you know, Steve Nash is LeBron James's exciting white. Right? He's the exciting white guy that he has there to be the mind and mind the game for him, break down plays and things like that. He's actually gotten out a clipboard, and you see Steve Nash, and then LeBron James is just nowhere in sight. He's like, okay, let me just take a break. This is my break from the show, and you go ahead and do that hard work, you know? But they're talking about TJ McConnell and how he was an interesting matchup. And I just want you guys to hear this because, again, like you hear Steve Nash and LeBron James, he just doesn't have it. This is sort of like a fake Kobe Bryant details, and it's really bad. And yeah, I mean, I guess we can't blame LeBron James for copying, but here's what he had to say. I want you guys to hear this for yourself.
You've been on the SB stage.
Whoops, sorry. That is the wrong soundbite. One second, guys.
There's some great dunks out here, man. And
Oh, I forgot to play this for you guys. This is what I forgot to play for you guys.
there's some great dunks out here, man. And you know, Dwight, Nate, some great charismatic, man. They're doing a great job.
Now, Jimmy Smith is trying to out you for next year's competition. You guys are pointing at each other. Inquiring minds and the fans want to know, LeBron, are you going to compete next year?
Right now, I'm preliminary putting my name in the 2010 dunk contest Saturday night. LeBron James is saying 2010 in Dallas Stadium.
That's right.
Primarily, I put my name in the dunk contest.
All right, fans, you heard it from LeBron James. You heard it from LeBron James.
I mean, you guys remember when you guys remember when he said that he was going to compete in the slam dunk competition and never did. But anyway, we're moving along. We're moving on to Mind the Game. And this is what him and Steve Nash were talking about.
Like, you know, this game is about fights. Like, styles make fights. And so let's break it down to like even like individual matchups. You know, against the Knicks, you know, Nembhard really struggled with Jalen Brunson. But Nesmith was able to cause him some problems. It flips. So now Nembhard, who grew up playing against Shea, is able to cause Shea some problems.
Right.
Nesmith struggles with Shea. So it's always about a little bit of styles.
Right.
One that I think is really fascinating to me, and I want to give him a big shout out, is TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
He is finding his way into the paint relentlessly against incredible defenders. He's getting by Alex Caruso.
Right,
He's
right.
getting by guys like Jalen Williams. These are elite defenders. TJ's a matchup problem for them with his pace, his shiftiness, getting underneath. He's got his little underneath dribble. He's got his little fadeaway. It's so fascinating to me to realize elite defenders can still struggle with different players. You've seen that in your career.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at TJ McConnell and what he's able to do right now in the finals, I think we all look at it like, how is he able to be so successful? You look at TJ, he's not the tallest guy, not the fastest guy, doesn't jump, doesn't have a huge vertical, but I think it's here and it's here and it's wheel.
Yeah.
I think the one thing about TJ McConnell is that when you look at a scouting report and you read about guys, you know what their go-to moves is. You know what they want to do. You know what they least like to do. TJ, you don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
It's just so random with TJ. You don't know when he's going to pull up and shoot his mid-range fadeaway in the paint. You don't know if he's going to dribble all up underneath the basket and then go to his fadeaway. And he's doing that not only when Alex Caruso is guarding him, Taysom Wallace is guarding him. He's even done it against Hartenstein and also Chet.
Chet, right.
So he's doing that versus everybody. So I think him not being a player that you key in on certain things that he do, what he like to go to, has made him be so successful in the finals so far.
For sure. I think, like you said, you don't know what he's going to do. One thing you do know he's not looking for is the three, which makes it fascinating because okay, he's not going to pull up for three. So you think, let me give him a gap. But he uses that gap. Right. He gets momentum.
Yeah, a la Rajon Rondo. That's what made Rajon Rondo so great. Right. The fact that you knew he was not going to be taking any threes, but he eat up the space, and by the time he was up on you, it was too late. And I think TJ has definitely learned. He's found that rhythm, and he's a big-time player.
Yeah, for sure. He uses pace, but he also uses change of pace, and he uses the entire floor. So it doesn't matter if he has to beat his guy at half court or his guy's dropping to the free throw line or he's on the sideline, he fakes a pitch and he goes.
Yeah.
Just incredible intelligence. And he's been, sounds weird to say, the biggest matchup nightmare in a way other than Pascal. I think Hallie's more of the sets the table.
Right.
Pascal's been a matchup problem, and TJ's been a matchup problem.
I absolutely agree with you. You just don't know. You don't know what TJ's going to do out on the floor. So it's hard to scout for a guy like that, And, like I said, Pascal being a matchup problem for anybody, but also TJ's pace and space, man, and his will to go out there and dominate, at his level. It's fascinating to watch, man. It's great. It's great basketball.
Yeah.
So I couldn't stand this soundbite mainly because I thought that, okay, let me tell you guys what I thought sounded good about what LeBron said, which was I applaud him for calling out TJ McConnell's his will, his heart. I think that that's perfectly fine. And I don't think there's anything wrong with shouting that out. But scouting report, analytics, analytics are it's like the death of our game, right? Like you really need analytics. You really need a scouting report to tell you. You need a scouting report. To me, you should be able to figure out how to guard TJ McConnell. I don't think you need a full-blown report on him. I don't think you need to come into the game knowing exactly what TJ McConnell is going to do, but that's what the league has become. If you don't have the cheat sheet, then you can't do it. That's LeBron James. He needs to have the cheat code available for him ahead of time, because if he doesn't, he can't win. He can't succeed that way. It's like, okay, so you can't defend someone if you don't have the drop on them ahead of time. That's just not real basketball to me. You don't have the drop on them, so you can't guard them. That's not basketball IQ to me. That's fake basketball IQ. Yep, fake. McConnell didn't have all these tricks for the most part that I saw. They didn't guard him, and when they did, he was turning the ball over with abandon. It was laughable. He went from Prince to Pumpkin. LeBron congratulating his heart and will, like I said, I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. But again, there's no real breakdown of these games. LeBron never has any of that, in my opinion. Sometimes we need to just sort of let things be and let them keep its place. And I wish that Kobe Bryant and the details, I just wish that could have been one of those things that LeBron James didn't attempt to duplicate. But I guess you can't blame someone for copying. It's just crazy that you wouldn't even want to give Kobe Bryant more credit, but instead you've dedicated, a media smear campaign and all this money that you've dedicated to this smear campaign to tear him down. That's just what I thought was really interesting out of, just him copying Kobe Bryant and trying to sound like this basketball savant. I think it's a joke. But he did have another soundbite that I thought was interesting surrounding whether this was the best basketball that we've ever seen? Is this the best? Is the league at the best that it's ever been at? I mean, we've all been saying that we need more defense. We've all been saying this is the worst basketball we've ever seen. The ratings have reflected that as well, right? The ratings have absolutely reflected that, this isn't the best basketball. We've been saying that the 90s is the best brand of basketball that we've seen. That era has been the best. And so LeBron James, Steve Nash, they continue to go on and on capping about that. They want to really elevate these today's era, this modern day era of basketball. They're trying to elevate it. They're trying to show NBA fans that it doesn't suck. They're trying to convince us. They're trying to shove it down our throats. And this is what they had to say about it.
This game is about fights. Like, doesn't matter. People are playing the same style. We really focused in on that kind of consistently during this podcast season to kind of figure out like what is true here. What is what is great about our game, right? And we've come to the conclusion, we hope you'll agree, the game is amazing.
No, the game is the best it's ever been.
The game is as good as it's ever been for sure. The pace and space era, a lot of threes. Some people can have a problem with that perhaps, but the reality is that's not going away. We're stretching the floor. We're playing with pace. We're playing more jazz than classical. We're not playing off the same playbook every time down. We're playing read and react basketball. So I think once people start to recognize that people are reading and reacting, using their brains, playing on the fly, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
No, absolutely. I mean, you just said it best. Steve, I think the playmaking that goes on in our league. I mean, I remember we did an earlier pod this year in one of our episodes, and you told me like in the 1995 season, out of the top 10 points per game leaders, literally there's only one guy in the top 5 in assists. Right. And that was Michael Jordan at the time. And you look at it now, 25, 30 years later, and out of the top 10 scores in the NBA, you have 5 or 6 guys in the top 10 in assists. Right. So the playmaking in our game, the defense, the different matchups that we see in our game, the different variables you can see defensively, man-to-man, zone. Guys are even pressing at time, 2-2-1 press that we haven't seen. I think that's great. It's a beautiful thing to watch our game continue to evolve. And I think it's the sky's the limit. We're going to continue to do that. It's beautiful.
Well, I have to give you a lot of credit for the playmaking. Let's like LeBron said, nowadays you can't just be a scorer. If you're just a scorer, really you come off the bench. You're a 6th man, 7th man, see if you're hot that night. Nowadays, if you want to be an elite player, you have to be a scorer and a playmaker. And I think you are a huge, huge part of that trend. 100%.
Appreciate it.
100%. Yes. What we've seen happen, and I'll use LeBron as one of the pioneers or one of the trendsetters in this way, is we're seeing a big physical athlete that can score, but is also passing, playmaking, but also playing cat and mouse, dissecting the defense, reading the defense, making the defense uncomfortable, making them make hard decisions. So now we're seeing the byproduct of that throughout the league, right? When I came in the league way ago in the 90s, like LeBron said, guys just come in and score. And nowadays, the defense have gotten more sophisticated. You have to be able to read and react and play. So LeBron coming in the league, let's not forget, the leading scorer in NBA history, right here, the leading scorer, but also one of the greatest passers and playmakers, right? And one of the best minds for the game. Mind the game? Mind for the game out there. So you put that together, what are we seeing now? We're seeing guys like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic. You go around the league, you're seeing so many guys that are taking the ball and manipulating the defense and deciding, how are you playing me? Okay, I'll go score the ball this possession. Oh, you want to load up on me? I'm going to go make plays for my teammate. So this trend for me is helping elevate the game of basketball because our lead players are able to do more than one or two things. They're able to do a bit of everything, Swiss Army knife for what the team needs in that moment while still having a huge usage rate.
Absolutely, man. You couldn't have said it better, man. I think our league is at the best place that it's ever been, it's beautiful to watch. You mentioned Luka. You mentioned the Joker. Giannis, so many guys that only can score the ball, rebound the ball, pass the ball, facilitate, think with their mind. It's just a beautiful thing, man. And and we go back to we're looking at OKC and Indiana. Both teams built up identities and cohesiveness, innovative offenses and defenses. But it's just beautiful to watch that when the ball moves, player movement, everybody feeling a great rhythm, and that's what the game is all about. That everybody's on the floor feel like they're important to the success, and to see that with OKC and see that with the Pacers now, listen, the two best words in sports is Game 7. All right, and we all should be lucky to be able to witness a Game 7 tomorrow night for the NBA Finals for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. So it's a beautiful thing for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, absolutely, that's it. All right, we got a bunch of hold up. We got a lot of Knicks fans in here, huh? Yeah. We got any Brooklyn Net fans in here? Oh man. Damn, Steve.
Yeah.
Was that boo for the Nets or for Steve? Which one? So the Knicks fans, y'all good? Y'all going to the finals next year? Oh, we're gonna see. We'll see.
You know, one of the things I would also say that's been great about the league is watching offense and defense evolve and push.
Guys, LeBron James is a disgrace. I mean, how do you go to New York City? You get booed during your own finale of your own show. He's just sitting there and they're just heckling and booing him throughout the show. And you can tell they're throwing out some of these people. They're just flat out booing him. He's talking, they're booing him. How embarrassing is that? He tries to play it off. Oh, I see here a lot of Knicks fans. NBA fans they don't respect LeBron the same as they do MJ and Kobe. You brought that season finale to New York City for what? That was a mistake. They don't respect LeBron, guys. They just don't. And I mean, in that soundbite that you guys just heard, the game is at its best. LeBron James he's repeatedly and he's specifically saying that the game is better than what people are calling the greatest era, the 90s. He says it multiple times throughout this season finale. It was recorded for a live audience. I mean, it's just so comical that it's being recorded for a live audience. It's a podcast. It's supposed to be, an intimate thing. But, leave it to LeBron James to ruin the podcast world as well. He's got to make a spectacle of everything. And as usual, it blows up in his face and he's getting booed. You're getting booed left and right. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. It's just, to me, it's also bullshit that LeBron James, he says that it's the playmaking. So it's supposed to be the playmaking that makes this era so great. And Michael Jordan, he was the only player that was top in assists that also was a top scorer. Yeah, Michael Jordan didn't specialize in triple doubles. He wasn't specializing in points, rebounds, and assists, and that's what LeBron James leaves out. His style of play, the quote-unquote playmaking that you see in him and Luka Doncic and these point forwards that he was inspired by, they didn't go out and win titles. So when you take a look at the point forwards that he was inspired by, the Grant Hills, the Penny Hardaways, the Scottie Pippen won titles alongside Michael Jordan. So a point forward really needs a Michael Jordan with them to be able to be dominant in winning titles. But LeBron's way is not a winning formula. He wasn't dominant in winning. So now the 5 or 6 players who are, top 5 in the league and scoring, they're also, leading in assists. I mean, big whoop-de-doo. These people are not dominant in winning titles. I mean, LeBron James, he's getting all this credit for his playmaking. Nash is crediting LeBron James for playmaking. This is bullshit, guys. Like I said, LeBron's way doesn't win. And the guys that copy him, they're not winning back-to-back titles. That's not happening for them. Players could always do everything. But when you're doing everything, you're getting nothing out of your teammates. LeBron led an assist, but his teammates didn't get any. To say that guys didn't think with their mind, I think is also a really big insult and absolutely ridiculous. So professional basketball players, they just get out on the floor and they're mindless. Why do LeBron James and Steve Nash, Kevin Durant, why do they say these disgusting things about players who used to play the game? As a professional athlete, you've got to use your mind. Just getting up every day and having the discipline to work your body and to just continue in that grind, right? I think it takes a huge mental toll. You know, you're constantly, I think that you have to use your mind on the floor when you're making when there's a game-changing moment, a game-deciding play. It's the mind that they have to use. I don't think John Stockton had no mind for the game. I don't think he just got out on the floor and just, oh, I'm just going to pass the ball to Malone. I'm just mindless today. That didn't happen. So what the hell is LeBron James talking about? He's a fool. When have you ever heard LeBron James ever say anything smart, eloquent? Never.
Let's start off with Joy.
I just like LeBron. He goes to mind the game to spew these horrible narratives, right? These lies. So he lies to us. He lies to the American public. He even talked about playing with Michael Jordan and what that would be like on the season finale. And guys, I do want to mention one thing that I thought that LeBron James did well on the season finale of Mind the Game. He mentioned Kyrie Irving. He mentioned his teammates that he won titles with. Every title that he won, he mentioned some of those teammates and role players. And he didn't call them a role player. He didn't say anything negative about them. He just said that he wanted to be able to look down the line. And of course, like that was the one thing that he said about it that was kind of like a put down, is that he wanted to be able to look down at everybody and see his teammates there, that they were willing to do, you know, whatever it took to win. So, you know, I thought that it was good that he actually mentioned his teammates. We don't really hear him mention Kyrie Irving's name. And I thought that that was interesting. And now that, you know, we have this looming decision of what, you know, where LeBron will go. Is he leaving the Lakers? You know, him putting some love on his teammates' names and giving them some flowers, and saying that they were ready to go to war and do what it takes. I thought that that was good. I did not like that he took a moment to address New York fans. You know, you're getting booed, deal with it. Okay. And I just didn't like all of the 90s references. Stop comparing this era to the 90s. There is no comparison. It's nothing like it. You haven't cut the mustard. You didn't measure up to the success that everybody thought that you were going to have. You never surpassed Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. These are not Magic Johnson. I mean, Tim Duncan. I don't have LeBron James ranked ahead of any of those guys. So he can talk about the 90s all he wants, but I have David Robinson ranked ahead of LeBron James. That's just me, though. Playing with LeBron James, I can't imagine, when you think about his teammates, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, that have had to bail him out, Ray Allen. They had to bail him out and help him, teach him how to win. I mean, Iman Shumpert, he was on ESPN, and Malika Andrews asked him what it was like to be a teammate of LeBron James, and here's what he had to say.
You've been on the SB stage yourself, part of that 2016 Cavaliers team that won Best Team, that award after pulling off the 3-1 comeback in the NBA Finals. Moments like this, they're the upside. That's the awesome stuff. But your teammate and ours, Richard Jefferson, he spoke about maybe the downside of playing with LeBron James on Road Trip It. Take a listen.
Here are the cons. Playing with LeBron sucks because you're trying to win a championship. He's one of the most competitive human beings in the history of American sports and sports in general. Does it suck when you're showing up and he's already been practicing for 4 hours and you're like, oh, when he's watching film and you mess up a play and he's just like, what are you doing? And it's like, yeah, those are the cons. But there were cons for playing with Jordan. There were cons for playing with Kobe. There were cons for playing with players that were so great that they demanded excellence. There was cons for playing for Pat Riley or Popovich or Spoelstra. There's always cons when you're trying to win at the highest level.
All right. So, of course, when you hear playing with LeBron and it sucks, that's going to make headlines, which, oh no, Richard Jefferson hates making headlines here. Whoopsies. We love you, Rich. But Iman, your thoughts here playing alongside LeBron. Is he right?
To give it context.
Yep.
The statement, yes, it does suck. And I'm going to say it for two reasons. I'm going to piggyback off Richard's statement and saying there's a ridiculous amount of pressure that comes with it because you have to be in a win now mindset every time you play on his team. I don't know why it's chopped up like that, but he is always expected to be at the top of the league, to win a championship. He's going to provide enough for you guys to get in there and make a difference. You have to be able to say now, in this time that I'm playing with LeBron, can I sacrifice if I was scoring 20 a game somewhere else? Now it needs to be 12 a game.
Did you experience that?
Oh, yeah. I've had my time with T-Lou where I got off. Great playoff game. I'm really shooting it well. I'm like, next game, I know we about to run some plays for sure. Absolutely not, Sean. We're glad we made it out of game 2. Go sit in the corner, knock that shot down, keep defending like a madman, but we don't need you to score. I think it was a hard pill for me to swallow as a player to hear that when I'm young and trying to get my stuff off. I'm like, man, I really want to get better and take that next jump in this league. And I'm being looked at like, we're trying to win a championship.
Yep.
Your development, like T-Lou was, back then T-Lou, I know probably had a little, we had a little razzle dazzle, we probably didn't want to have that combo. But I understand now him saying, hey, man, it ain't about you. You're going to want that ring way more than you're going to want player of the month.
Right.
You're going to want that ring way more than the most improved player next year and all. Forget all that. Do you want to be part of something that's forever?
Right.
And, it sucks when you're going through that because that's a mental battle for any player. But it sucks in the beginning when you think of that. He didn't talk about how great it is to win the championship.
Right. It makes me think of the quote, pressure is a privilege, because that type of pressure, when you're able to rise to it, there is nothing better. And you certainly rose to the occasion all show long under this clear pressure. I don't know what's.
Iman Shumpert said it. Iman said it. It sucks. It sucks to be LeBron's teammate. So, I mean, I like Shumpert. I think he comes with little anecdotes that him and J.R. Smith. It's like they were the guys getting high in the locker room, and they come back years later with some interesting stories that they didn't share at the time. So salute to Iman Shumpert for telling his truth, whatever that might be. And, I'm curious to know from you guys, why don't NBA fans respect LeBron the same way that they respect Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant? Like, why is he getting booed in New York City? Like, seriously, guys. Like, how do you get booed at your own event? You're being honored there. How does this happen to you?
And I want my damn respect too.
Get out of here, LeBron. Go back to LA. I'm from New York. Boo! 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 LeBron! LeBron! You never beat Jordan. You never beat Jordan, my Oh, Kobe. You bum. Oh, Kobe. You bum. Get out of here.
Wow. Absolutely. I mean, New York fans are diabolical. I've got to say, we just don't play around. LeBron James would never be able to go to New York without something like that happening. So, hey. But anyway, curious to know from you guys. It looks like we did get some more super chats that came through. So I want to go ahead and read those out. Will for real, thank you and salute to you for the $9.99 super chat. New sub, dig your takes. Been a Lakers fan for 40 years, and LeBron actually makes me glad to see the Lakers lose. He's a cancer that needs to be removed. We'd be dancing like on the whiz when he's gone. I mean, I can't wait to bust out a two-step. I'm going to do the Harlem Shake. Okay? I'm going to be doing the Harlem Shake all over this LeBron pack, this Brondashian pack that we're all about to be smoking on. Okay? When LeBron James retires. And the crazy thing is, it's not like we're going to get rid of him. When he retires, he's going to have even more time and more energy to put into his media campaigns, into his smear campaigns of other players and past legends. Before we know it, I mean, who knows? Like he really, LeBron James, he has a devious plan. Probably before he goes into the grave, to be globally known as the GOAT. I don't know how he's going to pull it off, but this is what I believe he's going to spend every waking moment of his time doing when he retires. Oh, I'm the best owner in NBA history. He'll be an owner, then he's got to be the GOAT owner, the GOAT this. Oh, well, I'll go out and coach. Michael Jordan never coached, or that's just everything that we're going to hear. Salute to you, Fred B. Jams, for the $4.99 super chat. Can't even make it out. Sound not rehearsed. The manipulator. Steve Nash has no shame. Shaking my damn head. I mean, they don't have any shame. They have no shame in their game. They will do anything. Steve Nash will clearly do anything just to be relevant, to be a part of NBA conversation and relevancy. I mean, he is obviously, he's trying to get a job somewhere. I mean, if this is the only job, then that's fine for him, I guess. But he wants to be talking about basketball. He wants to be in the mix at the very least. So if he's not vying for another head coaching position, he's definitely looking for something. And it could just be to be in the mix. Just be a little bit of clout for, sitting next to LeBron James spewing lies. Who knows? But thank you so much for the super chats. This is a good time for us to move on to the next topic, guys. When we talk about manufacturing, when we talk about hype, when we talk about overrated, we've got to talk about, obviously, we've got to talk about Bronny James in the Summer League. It's hilarious to me that there are reports that not only has Bronny James proven himself to be a serviceable NBA player, that he not only looks like a pro, but he shined in Summer League and he outshined Dalton Connect. That is actually the story, that he has outshined Dalton Connect at this point. Okay? And so I do want to share with you guys an article that I've read on fadeaway.net. I thought that it was interesting. Let's see. Get that for you guys. All righty. So first, and here's some comments that Bronny has made just around his ability to play at this point. So Bronny James says the game is slowing down as he gains confidence in Summer League. Bronny James opened up about his improvement during Summer League, crediting his G League reps and increased confidence at point guard for helping the game slow down. Bronny James is starting to settle in. After a shaky start to his Summer League debut, the 20-year-old guard is gradually finding his rhythm on the court. Speaking to reporters after a recent game, Bronny acknowledged the strides he's been making in both his confidence and comfort level. Yeah, for sure, said Bronny when asked if the game is slowing down for him. It helps that I was in the G League running point guard most of the time. Just getting these reps in the Summer League is helping as well. Just getting more comfortable game by game. Bronny, who attended USC for one school year, has embraced a slow and patient approach to his NBA career. After signing a $7.9 million contract in 2024, at least $4.3 million guaranteed, he's been quietly working behind the scenes to develop his game and take on a bigger role in JJ Redick's rotation. With averages of 2.3 points, 0.7 rebounds, and 0.8 assists per game as a rookie, James showed brief flashes of greatness, but he still has a long way to go before he carves out a permanent place on the Lakers. This summer, ahead of the 2025-26 campaign, he's working to build on his progress over the past 12 months. Admittedly, Bronny was struggling to keep up in his first few Summer League games this year, but he exploded on Monday for his best game yet this summer. In a 67-58 loss to the Clippers, James put up 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on 60% shooting. He also went 3 of 5 from 3 as the leading scorer of the game. For a guy who struggled to shoot efficiently throughout his young career, it was great to see Bronny have a successful shooting night, and it seems all the reps have been doing wonders for his development. Besides the Summer League, Bronny has had time in both the NBA and with the South Bay Lakers, in which he has used to grow his confidence, expand his skill set, and get a feel for the NBA landscape. At this point, Bronny knows that his best path to success is as a defender, and he's committed to maximizing his production on that end of the floor. But if he can also hone his abilities as a scorer, he will unlock a whole new level to his game. Amid so much uncertainty and drama within the organization, the Lakers are still trying to figure out where their paths lead. But as long as LeBron and Bronny are still on the roster, they expect to be somewhat competitive. For Bronny in particular, his role on the team may be redefined next season as he finds his place on the court and develops more and more chemistry with his teammates. As the youngest member of one of the NBA's most scrutinized rosters, Bronny still has a lot to prove. But if his recent comments and performances are any indication, he's trending in the right direction. With time, reps, and a team committed to his growth, the game is beginning to slow down. And when that happens for a young player, everything else starts to open up. Now, guys, I just want to go back up to one of the main points up here is that Bronny shows flashes of greatness. What the hell is that? Flashes of greatness. Are we serious, guys? A flash of greatness. Now, I can tell you what Bronny, what I think of. So when I see Bronny play or when I hear of him, when I hear his name, I think of a few words, and none of it is greatness. None of it is belonging. None of it is NBA player. None of it is serviceable point guard. None of it is great defender. I think of nepotism. I think of doesn't belong. I think of NBA costumes. I think of Halloween. I think of purse snatching, literally somebody putting on a ski mask and running down a New York City, block, chasing somebody down and snatching their purse. That's what I think of. I think of purse snatching. I think of like highway robbery, bank heist. That's what I think of. I think of video gamer. I think of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Carlton Banks. I can go on and on of things that I think of when I hear of Bronny James. An NBA player is never going to come across my mind. That's for sure. So, will Bronny turn into a pumpkin? Will he go from Prince to pumpkin all over again? I mean, that's what we keep seeing. We'll see him have some random good game against a bunch of nobodies, and then when he gets into the NBA, pumpkin. The horse and carriage just disappears. The glass slippers disintegrate. I'm predicting Bronny turns back into a pumpkin. Really curious what you guys have to say and what you think, so drop me a line in the comments. Guys, don't forget also to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video. Let's see where we're at. I've done my job, guys. Have you done your job? Let's like the video. Let's get the word out there. Share the video. Okay, well, we have over 300 people watching, guys. 300 people watching. We have 300 people watching. I need you to smash the like button for me. Can we get to 300 likes? Let's get to 315 likes. I know we can do it.
Be mad, I can have a spat, we can have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job. That's really that's all it is. You got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice. You got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice.
All right, guys, like the video. Let's get to at least 300 likes. I do also, we've got to talk about Cooper Flagg. So after his first summer league game, they were NBA analysts all over the place were willing to call him a bust. I mean, Rob Parker, he said he was waving the white flag. He's off the flag train, right? And he didn't think that he didn't say he's going to be a horrible NBA player, but they weren't impressed with that initial outing. His debut game, I mean, many people weren't like, okay, well, Cooper Flagg, he's just the greatest thing we've ever seen. But most people weren't willing to write him off completely, but some people were, right? So some people were flat out calling him a bust and saying that Bronny James outplayed him. That was actually, yes, that was a report that Bronny James outplayed Cooper Flagg. Okay. They even reported that Bronny James outplayed Dalton Connect and that he's outshining him in this summer league when he played awful in the first couple of games. And Dalton Connect has been inconsistent, but he still looks more of an NBA player than Bronny. So let's be clear. And he's actually scored, I'm pretty sure he scored 30 points before in an NBA game or close to it. Bronny has not done that. In a real NBA game, they were calling the Lakers last season with Luka, Dalton Connect, and Austin Reeves in the lineup. They were calling them the Snow White Lakers. Okay. So Dalton Connect, he was part of that. Bronny has never been part of a trio. He shouldn't even be in the league. He doesn't belong. The fact that we're even comparing Bronny James to Cooper Flagg to Dalton Connect, real NBA players, I think it's actually, a joke, right? And Gil's Arena, actually, they're calling Bronny James the Summer League MVP. So I want you guys to listen to this and we'll react together. Let me know what you guys think about this. Where is it? Is it this one? No, it's not that one.
Here's the bottom line, man.
No, that wasn't it. Whoops.
Point though.
I'll take it.
Okay. Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
So does Bronny seem more comfortable out there on the court? Obviously, you worked with Bronny in the past.
No, I mean
his aggressiveness has kind of always been called under question. I think he showed a lot in the G League last year, having 22 points with the South Bay Lakers.
Like if you take away the criticism of he shouldn't be in the league, then is he ready now? If he's not ready now, is he going to be ready next year? Like it's all about progression, right? If we're going to sit here and compare, even though we don't want to compare, who looks more like the first round pick, him or Connect right now?
So that was bringing me to my next
You know
question.
what I mean? So I mean, just fuck the names, just production and charisma and style and comfortability. Who looks more like the first round pick? Are they 3 years apart from each other?
So that brings me to my next point, Gil.
Now you see what I'm saying? Like
because Connect had a great summer league too.
So far, but what I'm
He's
saying,
been struggling.
I'm talking about last year.
Okay,
last year. I'm talking about right now, from last year to this year. One looks way more comfortable than the other. One looks like he's more like, okay, I'm getting a feel for this. One is still trying to figure out,
I mean, if they
he
one time too.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
one time.
if you still figuring
That has got to be a joke. Dalton Connect has showed up in actual NBA games. Bronny's done nothing. Bronny has done nothing in this league. Nothing. Dalton Connect has accomplished things in the NBA. Dalton Connect, when he debuted, he actually looked like he could be in the running for Rookie of the Year last season. That didn't last, and honestly, his development, his growth and ability to shine early in his career, it's been marred by the Lakers and their behavior. Trading him to Charlotte and then bringing him back. He wanted to be gone. He doesn't want to play for the Lakers. He doesn't want to be in Bronny James' shadow in this circus to a guy who's wearing an NBA costume, pretending on a daily basis to be an NBA player. Watching him and his father kill other NBA contracts and ruin careers. They ruined Quincy Oliveri. What they did to him was a crime. He's nowhere to be found. He's buried. Where were all the people at last year that said, oh, Quincy got a contract. Oh, he signed to the Lakers. He's on a 2-way deal. Look at him now. Nowhere to be found. Buried. No contract. No money for his family. But Bronny James gets 7-8 mil. Purse snatcher. He stole his contract. But Cooper Flagg, I think, there's some takeaways to be had about Cooper Flagg, and CBS Sports, they did an interesting article on Cooper Flagg, which, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good read. So I want to share that with you guys really quickly. And here it is. Let's see. Let me blow this up a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see it better. All righty. So Cooper Flagg, Summer League takeaways, Mavericks #1 pick, flashes point guard skills, defense, and short stint. Cooper Flagg went off for 31 points, guys, in his final Summer League game. So he was basically put out for another game to show out and show up. And he went off. It was against the Spurs. Honestly, the Spurs have been showing out in the Summer League season, and I've been really impressed with them. They are a scrappy team. They work really hard, and Cooper Flagg dropped 31 on them. And the article goes on to say, Cooper Flagg's stint in the NBA, Las Vegas Summer League, is over now that the Dallas Mavericks plan on shutting down the #1 overall pick from last month's draft after just 2 games. Flagg logged nearly 63 minutes against the Los Angeles Lakers and San Antonio Spurs, with his best performance coming in his final game in Sin City. The former Duke product scored 31 points against the Spurs less than 48 hours after having a lackluster shooting night against the Lakers in his Summer League debut. Flagg shot 5 for 21 against Los Angeles and didn't record a field goal after halftime. However, Flagg did make a winning play in the clutch by blocking a shot during the final 2 minutes of regulation, which led to a go-ahead three-pointer by his teammate and fellow rookie, Ryan Nembhard. Flagg's play as a point forward was a talking point heading into Summer League. And Mavericks coach Jason Kidd mentioned during his post-draft press conference that it would be a point of emphasis. Flagg got plenty of reps as the primary ball handler and initiator of the offense, a role that could stretch into the regular season with star point guard Kyrie Irving out for at least the start of the 2025-26 campaign as he rehabs back from a torn ACL. With Flagg's summer in the books and the next glimpse of him playing in a competitive basketball game not coming until this fall, here are our biggest takeaways and observations from his 2 games. Point Flagg was real. Kidd wasn't joking when he said that Flagg would get some of the point guard duties during Summer League. Kidd explicitly mentioned he wanted Flagg to be uncomfortable by playing point guard, with the end goal of seeing how he would react. There were a handful of possessions that stood out in which Flagg made the right read as the primary ball handler. With 8:55 remaining in the second quarter against San Antonio, Flagg called for a screen, dribbled right, and then went back to his left before pulling up for a three-pointer at the top of the key. What stood out is that the primary defender guarding Flagg was San Antonio rookie Carter Bryant, who is considered one of the best point-of-attack defenders in the class. Flagg successfully recognized Carter going under the screen, which allowed him space to get off a jumper uncontested. Cooper Flagg dropped 31 points against the Spurs and #2 pick Dylan Harper.
Flagg driving baseline, got it in one. Count it. Long enough to get that thing
I
to
like
the other
Cooper Flagg.
side.
I mean, when you take a look at him, what he's
Flagg
doing right
walks into
here,
the three, and he laces it. Guarded by Carter Bryant.
honestly, even though he went
Big man
5
in
for
the drop,
21 in the
Flagg
first game,
raises up,
he
man.
played with a lot of bravado. He's not scared to take the shots. He's not scared to miss the shots.
It's a little bit harder. Flagg on the line.
I like Cooper
Flagg
Flagg. I do. I like his athleticism. I like the length of his body. He's very elongated. He's athletic. He's scrappy. He gets into it.
Punching it home.
I really like it.
You can guard people. Guarding Cooper Flagg on that three, and he laces it.
I think he's going to be an interesting watch in the league. I think that the Mavericks, they would be smart to hold on to him and to watch him develop. Now, they're saying that they're going to shut him down, guys. That's what they're saying. They're saying that they're going to shut Cooper Flagg down, right? That he's not playing another Summer League game. But did they shut him down because they want to preserve him for the NBA season? Did they shut him down because, in fact, maybe they want to trade him to the Lakers? Are they packaging him up to the Lakers in trade for LeBron James? Is that what's happening? Ticket TV is predicting that that's what's going to happen, that Cooper Flagg goes to the Lakers and LeBron James is going to the Mavericks, that they're going to figure out a way to make that happen because Cooper Flagg's timeline is not on the same timeline as Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I don't want that to happen. I think that anything can happen in this league. I don't think LeBron James is going anywhere just because I think more than anything, more than winning a title, more than competing, he enjoys being a Brondashian. He's completely full of himself. The reality show, the Brondashian show, not the Lake show, but the reality show of the James family, him and Bronny, him and Carlton Banks, father-son duo, that's way more important. Having that moment in Los Angeles, being a Kardashian, a Brondashian. And if we just go down the list, guys, I would say obviously LeBron James is Kim Kardashian, right? But then you have Rich Paul. He's Kris Jenner. So I think that Rich Paul is Kris Jenner. Who's Bronny? I think that Bronny is Kylie. I think Bronny is Kylie Jenner. And I think that Bryce is probably Kendall, the quiet one. I never really hear too much from him. I'm going to spare the James sister as well as Savannah James. I'm not going to call them the Kardashians, but I really do think that LeBron is for sure Kim, and then you have Rich Paul as Kris Jenner pulling all the strings. He's brokering the deal for the sex tape. Sheesh, if there's anything that comes out of these Diddy parties, Rich Paul is going to be right there brokering the deal. He's going to be all over it. LeBron James is still going to be winning. But anyway, guys, I thought that those highlights of Cooper Flagg were pretty fun to watch. Bronny James, definitely not the Summer League MVP, but that's what the media wants us to believe. They want us to believe that he's outshining Dalton Connect. We know what's going to happen when the NBA season comes. We know. We already know, guys. But Summer League, right? Summer League is really a great time. When I think about Bronny and the way that Gilbert Arenas tried to say that Bronny James was actually a better rookie than Kobe Bryant was. Do you remember that narrative? So they went from saying that Bronny was better than Kobe as a rookie to now he's outshining Dalton Connect. Isn't that funny? But, that just brings us to our next topic, which is Kobe Bryant. And obviously you guys know and are aware that there's just been so much Kobe Bryant slander out there. It's just been absolutely ridiculous. And I can't figure out why the media, well, I have some ideas, but there's been no real good reason for it. And everybody's kind of like, they're just on this smear campaign, the media. And I blame Clutch Sports. I believe that Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, LeBron James, they are behind this. They have this devious plot to be called the GOAT, to take down any NBA legend that stands in their way. They're just knocking them down one by one. And some people just catch a stray. So if you are tied to a particular narrative, you just caught a stray and you're involved now. And it's a sad thing, right? It's really, really sad. And, Kobe Bryant has been brought into all of this. He's no longer here to defend himself. He's no longer here to, really be the influence and the example that modern day NBA players need to see. But, like I said, guys, there's been a huge smear campaign out there for Kobe Bryant right now. And it's just been so awful. And I don't know if you guys watch Fast Break, Byron Scott's podcast. Byron Scott, he has a podcast called Fast Break, which I really enjoy. I've been watching it for a while. I really, really like his guest appearances that he has on there. He's had Magic Johnson on several times. He's had quite a few people, and it's just been really great to watch him and the stories that they tell on this podcast and the way that they criticize and the lens that they're looking at today's players in and through, I think that it's a fair lens. And I really enjoy them because they're not here to hate on today's generation. They're just talking about the clear differences, some things that they see, some observations. And sometimes it does get a little spicy for them because they're like, wow, people today, they weren't there for what they went through in their experiences, yet they have so much to say about it. And it's really interesting. And they had quite a bit to say about Kobe Bryant and the smear campaign and all of the just the crazy narratives that are going on about it. I mean, most recently, Jeff Teague talked about Kobe Bryant's defense, right? And I talked about that. I even played 6 minutes of LeBron James and Kobe Bryant playing against each other in Kobe Bryant's last All-Star game, and not his last All-Star game, but the last competitive All-Star game before we saw like a huge shift. Right, we saw a huge shift in the All-Star competitiveness, right? And Kobe Bryant, he was against that shift. He didn't want that, and he was purposely embarrassing players, and particularly LeBron James. And so, Olden P, he guest appeared on Fast Break. He shows up there quite a bit, and Olden P, he is a Hall of Famer. And I want to play for you guys the sound from Fast Break because it is honestly, it's heartbreaking to watch. It reminds us how much of a disgrace Clutch Sports is and the media for creating these false narratives and speaking so ill of the dead. Kobe Bryant isn't here. And, for them to try to tear down his legacy when people should be remembering him very fondly, it's disgusting. It's an absolute disgrace. So I want to play this sound for you guys and we can react and we can listen and react together. But here's what Olden P had to say in particular, and Byron Scott as well. So I want to play this for you guys and, just brace yourselves because it does get really emotional and it is really sad. So here we go.
They're coming in now making 12.
Yeah, but I say your motivation used to be money or just, first of all, my motivation was to make the NBA.
Yeah.
It wasn't predicated on money. I wanted to be an NBA basketball player.
Yeah.
What was your It wasn't motivated by money or anything else.
Hunger.
You wanted to eat?
I was living in Harlem, man, in projects. My motivation was hunger.
Yeah.
I didn't give a damn about no NBA and all that. I just wanted to be able to eat.
Right? The point is, it wasn't money. Our motivation was different, but it wasn't based on money.
Yeah, it wasn't.
These guys
money.
right now are coming in based on money and the bag that they get. So they have no motivation to get that next one. We all know Kobe's motivation was never money.
No, not at all.
His motivation was championships.
Yeah. He wanted to be the best.
And he felt
and needed rings
you
to
win
get
championships, everything else comes in, comes in place. Everything else falls in place. Same thing we thought, right? A lot of these kids don't think that anymore. They think, I want to make the NBA so I can make a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, if that's your motivation.
I can spin on a 38-year-old woman.
So OP, we're talking about Kobe.
Yeah.
All three of us have a very personal relationship with him, and there's a lot of podcasts out there now. A lot of former players doing shows, and I've never seen so much slander on Kobe in my whole life, and all of it is just trash. Yeah. What's your thought on this?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the problem that I'm having is bums are talking. And I'm not saying that Tracy McGrady or whoever, Jeff Teague, now are bums. Okay. But it's a bum mindset to criticize this man, and he's not here to defend himself. You didn't say none of this shit when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of y'all opened your mouths and said, "No, oh my God, I love you, love your shoes and everything else." No, let the man rest in peace. I'm sick and tired of this crap with these people. It's some bullshit. Excuse me. I ain't never cussed until now. Because now I'm offended.
Brother, speak your mind.
It's some bullshit. The man is dead, man. And y'all gonna be criticizing him? Come on, man. That's one of the things I hate about this damn world, man. Everybody's using certain opportunity. They're being opportunistic because this man's no longer here to defend himself. But you guys loved him. You love his shoes. You love everything about him. And now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I was way better. No, you were not. Stop with the bullshit. I'm serious. This is whack, man. Get the hell off the air.
I don't even think I have to say anything after OP because I know how emotional you get when you start talking about Kobe Bryant. But my mama told me a long time ago, you know, if you ain't got something that's nice to say about somebody, don't say nothing. Keep it to yourself.
Facts.
We are talking about one of the greatest players that ever played this game, who gave this game everything he had. I was in that locker room his last game when he told the guys on that team that he can walk away from this game feeling that he gave it everything he got. Thanks. And he can walk away with a lot of pride and a lot of dignity because he knew that he gave it everything he got. And we know with his workouts and his dedication to the game, he even sacrificed friends, family, all the other shit because he wanted to be one of the greatest of all times. He was able to accomplish that. So, you know, like OP said, I mean, cut the bullshit. You know, all y'all out there talking all this shit about, you know, he ain't this, he ain't that, man, cut the bullshit. Again, if you ain't gonna say it, if you didn't say it while he was here, cut the bullshit. We all know that he's one of the greatest of all time. Get that man his flowers and let him rest in peace.
Let him rest, man. Damn. My bad, y'all.
No, you're good. You're good, OP.
I
Trust.
don't like that crap, man.
All right, we'll get you out of here with a little bit more rapid fire. I know we did it last time, but
we got some more.
We got some more, and you know the rules. You can give us a quick answer if you want to elaborate.
Yes,
you
sir.
can. We got 5 or 6 of them here. Byron, you want to kick it off?
Yeah. What opposing arena had the toughest fans?
By the
What
way,
opposing arena?
Vernon Maxwell said Utah.
What opposing arena had the toughest fans? Yeah, Max said Utah.
It's just like, honestly, it was, I teared up a little bit watching that when I first saw it because it was just, you know, when you think about the way that LeBron James disrespects people so mindlessly, you know, Wilt Chamberlain isn't here anymore. He said that he was just bigger, stronger, and faster. He didn't have a mind for the game. He didn't know how to think the game. Wilt Chamberlain didn't know how to think the game. When you think about how aimlessly and thoughtlessly they disrespect people. And all of these talking heads in the media, I mean, you have Nick Wrong. He was just so disrespectful surrounding Kobe and his legacy. Stephen A. Smith, he would completely dismiss Kobe Bryant even being in the discussion for GOAT. LeBron James was catapulted to the number 2 position as if like Kobe didn't exist. Jeff Teague, he's signed to Clutch Sports Media. He's literally signed to Clutch Sports Media. Clutch Sports is spending millions of dollars. I think they're in the red by 30 million as of last year in this media company that they own because they're just paying off talking heads in the media to spew lies and false narratives. The La Media is at it again. The La Media strikes again. It never ends, right? I mean, you have the top 100 list, right, for Kobe Bryant that came out, and that Bleacher Report was absolutely disgusting. So Kobe's top 100, I'm sorry, the Kobe was on the top 100 list, and he was number 11. And I have to tell you guys, I hate these lists. I really do, mainly because even if you don't think that Kobe Bryant belongs in the GOAT debate, there's no scenario where LeBron should be above him. That doesn't make sense to me. The list seemed bought and paid for to me. It's a joke. I mean, when you see a list like this and then the outlet wants to clap back and actually defend the list, that's even more hilarious to me. They wanted to double down. Bleacher Report wrote another article and doubled down on this list. That's a smear campaign in full effect, guys. Like, okay, we don't have enough people or enough important people believing in us, so we're just going to spread more lies. And so when the hate doesn't work, they just start telling lies. Go along, get along. They're at it again. The La Media, Clutch Sports, strikes again. This list is nonsense, guys. And I've already discussed Jeff Teague and his inconsistencies about Kobe and LeBron, and we've exposed his contract and Clutch Media. So, you know, he's aligned with Clutch, right? We know what's happening and that Clutch is responsible for that smear campaign against Kobe Bryant. It's disgusting and shameful. LeBron James, he is a despicable human for constantly tearing down the legacies of those who are no longer with us. They deserve to be remembered, but LeBron James wants to erase them because he doesn't measure up to their standard. He doesn't cut the mustard. We know that. I want to share the Bleacher Report's article with you where they're doubling down on this nonsense. I want you guys to see this because it's crazy as hell. So here it is, guys. Why Kobe Bryant isn't a top 10 player in Bleacher Report's all-time NBA rankings. They felt the need to double and triple down on this 2 days ago. So Bleacher Report released its updated list. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm sharing the screen with you. There we go. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can see that. Let me blow this up for you guys to be a little bigger. Alrighty, so you guys should be able to see this. Like I said, why Kobe Bryant isn't a top 10 player in Bleacher Report's all-time NBA rankings. Okay. Bleacher Report released its updated list of the 100 greatest players in NBA history this week, which was voted on by a panel of experts, writers, and editors. To no one's surprise, the placement of several legends are causing quite a stir all over the internet. Perhaps most shocking to some is Kobe Bryant's spot. He finished 11th in the exercise, with one voter having him all the way down at number 18. His former teammate Shaquille O'Neal described the rank as criminal. You guys see this list? Look at who they have 10 spots above Kobe. Steph Curry, Wilt, Bird, Duncan, Shaq, Russell, Magic, Kareem, LeBron. Absolutely insane. Shaq tweeted it. Kobe at 11 is criminal. For many NBA fans, seeing Kobe outside the top 10 is unfathomable. So we're here to provide more context to help you understand why Kobe didn't make the cut. Peak versus longevity. Okay, sounds like bought and paid for by who else? Clutch Sports. Longevity was never a thing. We never talked about this prior to LeBron James. That never happened. Ever. Peak versus longevity? So you can just be the longest movie ever and be the worst movie, and that's totally fine. So as long as you're the longest movie, then you're ranked number 2 next to Michael Jordan. The Titanic was a really, really long movie, but I wouldn't call it the best movie I ever saw. It was really long. Not the best. So Kobe is 4th all-time in career points, regular and postseason combined, tied for 2nd in total All-NBA nods, 3rd in total All-Star selections, and 3rd in total 40-point games, including the playoffs. There is no question that for most of 2 decades, he was among the very best players in the world. But among the best and the best are 2 different things. Kobe never led the league in box plus minus or player efficiency rating. He only secured 1 MVP win, is outside the top 10 in career MVP shares. For most of his career, Kobe wasn't wearing the NBA's best player championship belt. His teammate, Shaquille O'Neal, held the honor early on in his career. For a while, it was probably Tim Duncan. Eventually, LeBron James came along, snagged the belt, and didn't let it go for several years. Stephen Curry may have even grabbed it before Kobe retired. Meanwhile, the players above him in the top 100, which includes everyone named in the preceding paragraph, all had multi-year peaks in which they were clearly holding the belt. The lone exception may be Wilt Chamberlain, who had Bill Russell to contend with. Shaq was the three-peats alpha. Now, guys, just going back to this, I don't even understand what the hell they just said. That was a whole word salad of nonsense. Box plus minus and player efficiency rating was never something that was brought up about Michael Jordan. Is it something that is of note? Yes. But it's not. They didn't say that he couldn't be in the top 10 because of it. That's bullshit. And then they're going to throw in this narrative of the bus driver shit? The Bleacher Report? Really? How dare you? Shaq was the three-peats alpha. These are all narratives that was created by Clutch Sports. It's tough to find NBA championship teams without multiple bona fide superstars. Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. Magic Johnson had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Larry Bird had Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. Tim Duncan first had David Robinson and later won titles with Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard. Stephen Curry shared the floor with Kevin Durant for 2 of his 4 titles. You get the picture. But the first name in each of the combinations above, including Curry's, clearly topped the hierarchy within each title-winning team. While Kobe was that player for his pair of championships with Paul Gasol, 2008 and 2009 and 2010, he was the clear number 2 to the 6th best player of all time in 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002. During these 3 postseasons, Shaq was the Lakers' runaway leader in wins over a replacement player. The cumulative version of box plus minus, points, rebounds, blocks, minutes, and raw plus minus. Had Kobe not landed in LA to start his career alongside O'Neal, there's no telling how many championships he'd have today. Winning the first 3 may have lit the fire that led to the next 2. With the 5 rings being such an important part of the Kobe mythology, it's fair to analyze who deserves the most credit for the Lakers' early 2000s three-peat. I think that this point is just absolutely disgusting for Bleacher Report to speculate and make a comment like that, that if Kobe Bryant was never with the Lakers, that he might not have ever won. And they're saying that like Kobe's career is a myth. I mean, did LeBron James write this article himself? 3/4 of a century of NBA history. That's their third reason. The first NBA campaign started in 1946. It wasn't even called the NBA then. In the nearly 8 decades that the league has existed, thousands upon thousands of the absolute best basketball players in the world have filtered through. Those who cracked Bleacher Report's top 10 combined absurd production with a best in the world peak that lasted a few years in most cases. A laundry list of accolades. Multiple championships. They also had something or things that separated them from Kobe, although that wasn't a specific criterion. Michael Jordan won 5 MVPs and 6 final MVPs. LeBron James cushioned himself between second place in the all-time scoring ladder is starting to look laughable. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a 6-time MVP and 6-time champion. Magic Johnson has 3 MVPs, 3 finals MVPs, and the highest career assist average of all time. Bill Russell won 11 titles during the league's formative years. Shaq was the best player on Kobe's most famous teams. Tim Duncan has 3 finals MVPs, 2 MVPs, and 15 all-defensive nods. Larry Bird won 3 MVPs in a row, finished top 3 in MVP voting 8 years in a row, helped save the NBA in the 1980s, and was a pioneer for point forwards. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 30 points for his career, won 4 MVPs, and averaged 50 points in the 1961-62 season alone. I guess that didn't exist, though, right? LeBron James says that didn't exist. And Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. As it turns out, being the best at basketball's most important skill is pretty important. Kobe has his own stellar individual resume, of course, but it's nearly impossible to overcome nearly 80 years of professional sports history, although he almost did. This makes no sense for Stephen Curry to be above Kobe Bryant when Stephen Curry was linked up with Kevin Durant for 2 of his 4 titles. I mean, Bleacher Report is disgusting. Curry and LeBron, that's just a reason why Kobe Bryant is not a top 10? Because they've outlasted him? That's their reason. Top 11 is no slight, but they had to come out and make an article denigrating him. They're completely blasting him and saying everything that he didn't do well. Someone who's not alive. When have we ever seen anything like this? Never. We don't see smear campaigns like this against players who are no longer here, who are dead. It's disgusting, guys. Absolutely disgusting. Top 11 is no slight. While there is plenty of understandable outrage over Kobe just missing out on the top 10 of our all-time rankings, finishing 11 shouldn't be considered a slight. Go check out the careers of the players who finished ahead of them. They're absurd. Look at the careers of some of the players behind him. Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo unquestionably have better numbers. Kevin Durant, though his legacy has taken some lumps since he left the Golden State Warriors, has a resume that stacks up favorably to Kobe's. Older fans surely have cases for legends like Oscar Robertson or Jerry West to be in the top 10. The talent and accomplishment level of everyone in this list is immense. All over it, margins are razor thin. For Kobe to miss the top 10 by one spot shouldn't be considered anywhere near an indictment on his career. On the contrary, being considered one of the 11 best players in NBA history is a remarkable achievement for one of the league's truly iconic talents. Okay, guys. I'm floored and I'm disgusted by the Bleacher Report, mainly because for them to have to qualify their opinions in this way, I've never seen an outlet need to do that. Stand on business, put the article out and just stand on it. You don't have to come out and then explain. That doesn't make much sense. Now, does it? What that says to me is you're working for Clutch. Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, they might as well have written this article. They are on the run. They are literally, their backs are that much up against the wall. They are so pressed about their legacy that, I mean, they have to literally create a smear campaign for a man that's in the grave, that's 6 feet under. They created a media campaign for Kobe Bryant, somebody who's no longer with us. They're a disgrace. And I mean, look, Olden P, he called Jeff Teague a bum, right? He called him a bum. It's a bum mindset. Not that they were bum players, right? The Gilbert Arenases, the Jeff Teagues, the guys that come out and say that Kobe was a bus driver. I mean, that he wasn't the bus driver, that it was Shaq, that, he had a worse rookie season than Bronny. These are the things that people are coming out to say. He couldn't defend. I mean, listen to what Jeff Teague had to say. I'll play it for you guys again. He said that Kobe Bryant really wasn't defending like that. Here's what he had to say about his defense.
I'm gonna tell y'all something about all defensive teams. If you made it once or twice, 3 times, they just start putting you on there. 12 times all defensive team. I played Kobe, bro. He wasn't guarding like that.
Kobe was taking his matchup serious some nights.
So you think Kobe Bryant, who's shooting 40 shots, is going out here and playing?
It was crunch time.
He's a competitor for sure. He was competitive, but that don't mean he was locking up. That's why they had Metal World Peace.
9-time first team. I guarded somebody.
I'm not saying he can't guard, but to make 12 all defensive teams, they just said fucking pick Kobe. It's a persona. Like the first couple times he made it, like he lock up. After that, bro, he wasn't guarding like that, bro.
Looks like he was guarding LeBron to me. Looked like he had him tortured. He was absolutely annihilating LeBron in that All-Star game. That was the last time that the All-Star game was competitive, and it had to change because LeBron James was crying. He was embarrassed. He got embarrassed by Kobe Bryant, the Mamba. The Mamba embarrassed the chosen one, who, of course, didn't want to compete as per usual. You guys remember the video that I played that I got blocked for? Clutch Sports ran in the room and got me blocked. Right? They didn't like that video. They didn't like those 6 minutes of torture that Kobe Bryant put LeBron James through. Look at him. He looks like he's crying. Kobe Bryant was having so much fun torturing LeBron, just fighting through screens to block his shots over and over again. Literally. He was saying, get this clown off the court. That's what he was saying. Get him out of here. This ain't the GOAT. Of course MJ is going to pick me over LeBron. Of course 5 is better than 1. Hello. 5 is definitely better than 1, guys. Don't forget. And don't forget this picture right here, this snapshot for all of you LeBron James, jockstrap sniffers, for everybody that's part of the 4 and 6 kingdom. This is what Kobe Bryant did to LeBron James in the All-Star game. He couldn't get a shot off. He couldn't score. Then after this moment, after this embarrassing moment, All-Star has never been competitive again. LeBron James didn't want to be exposed. He didn't want us to see him for who he truly is. We know what kind of guy he is. We know he's going to the Balco lab. We know he's not efficient. Look at that. That's efficiency? I don't think so. We know he's a flopper. Look at him. Look at him peeking at the ref to see if the ref is going to give him the call. Look at him. We know he likes to fake MCL injuries. We know he likes to check his stats during the game. We know that. And we know he can't go to New York City, guys. We know that.
And I want my damn respect too. Get out of here, LeBron. Go back to LA. I'm from New York. Boo! 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 LeBron! LeBron! You never beat Jordan. You never beat Jordan, my Oh, Kobe. You from Oh, Kobe. You from Get out of here.
Well, let's just take a look at this one more time, guys. Get out of here, LeBron. You'll never be Jordan. You'll never be Kobe. LeBum. Man, oh man. I mean, sports media, right? What they report, right? The environment and the landscape of sports media, that continues to evolve and change, right? We see what's happening in television and how they're coming on into the YouTube space, right? We see Stephen A. Smith. He's trying to take over YouTube and content creation spaces. We're seeing so much more of that. And, we're seeing a huge shift in sports media. And we've seen ESPN, Fox. We've seen a variety of shows on these networks, right? And when folks get fired, it definitely sends a shock wave throughout the sports world. Recently, there were a bunch of firings on Fox. FS1, there were a slew of firings, show cancellations, 3 shows. They just did like a sweeping cancel of, I believe it was Speak, Breakfast Ball, and what was the other one? Emmanuel Acho show. I think it was The Facility. So those 3 shows have been canceled in wake of huge sexual allegations and lawsuits that have occurred at Fox. And it's been really, really a daunting time, I think, for Fox, where they just they had to let that situation play out. They couldn't immediately likely fire Joy Taylor right away. The allegations against her, they were awful. They were disgusting. And they were just very, like I said, they were egregious, right? So it was a huge lawsuit, lots of allegations saying that she, basically slept her way through the network and, used that, sort of dangled the carrot of a potential Me Too scandal at Fox News in order to get different positions. I'm sorry, not Fox News, but FS1 in order to get different positions and to, be part of certain shows. And so apparently she was sleeping with Charlie Dixon. Emmanuel Acho while she was married and engaged to other people. That's the story. I don't know how true that is, but you know, Paul Pierce, Emmanuel Acho, they've been let go as well, or at least their shows, Keyshawn Johnson, they're part of that cancellation. I don't know if they'll be placed somewhere else. Like I could see Keyshawn Johnson as well as Paul Pierce being placed on a different show, or them revamping, you know, FS1 and, you know, come the fall. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do there. If Paul Pierce will have a job come, you know, the next NBA season, I would love to see him working. You guys know how much I adore Paul Pierce, the truth. He's had some hot takes. And honestly, I don't think this was about ratings, because I thought that the Speak show was doing very well. I mean, first things first, I know that is their bread and butter, I think, of their morning lineups, and not their morning, but their afternoon lineup. Colin Cowherd, I think, also has a successful show. But Paul Pierce, he was trending on YouTube from what I could see. Their clips and videos were doing very well. Unlike Doug Gottlieb, they don't get any views. The Breakfast Ball, they don't get any views in comparison to Speak, Emmanuel Acho show. You know, so it's really interesting to me how the Facility, Speak, you know, these shows in Breakfast Ball, they get canceled, but, you know, some of the lower rating shows, or, you know, they're just here to stay. But again, I think that this was about Charlie Dixon, his decision making, and what came out of those lawsuits and what claims could be substantiated. And I think that several of them were, you know, found to be, you know, where there was smoke, there was fire. So they were able to, I think, confirm some of these claims. And, you know, I don't know exactly what was true out of that. I don't know if the Joy Taylor stuff was true. I don't know if they were just creating, you know, an environment that wasn't good. But I agree with the firings. I want to say that. So I agree that they should have fired anything that came from Charlie Dixon and his decision making, just because of the sheer allegations. I don't think that you're necessarily supposed to be able to keep a high profile job like this, where, you know, you're communicating with the public, where, you know, there's a huge focus on these stories that are taking away from the main thing, which is to report about, you know, the sports world. So if they're there to talk about sports, and instead what everybody else is talking about is sex, and they're, you know, and what's going on at Fox Sports, I mean, that's ridiculous, and that's embarrassing, and that's unprofessional, and that's a negative work environment, and it's all kinds of things, and it could be sexual harassment, and it's so many things. There's power dynamics. There's just a load of different things. And so, like I said, I don't know what's true here and what's not, but Joy Taylor has been the subject of a lot of vitriol over the last couple of months. Marcellus Wiley, he was formerly on FS1 as well. He was replaced by Emmanuel Acho. They basically stole his job. They plotted against him. And Joy Taylor was part of that. And he's not happy, from what I'm seeing and hearing, that they got necessarily fired. It seems like, okay, well, you got what you deserved in the end. But he's just like, hey, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. These allegations are true. And I'm here to tell you guys that. So here's what he had to say. And, you know, we'll react together. Okay.
Let's start off with Joy Taylor and what's in the lawsuit and the allegations, and how Joy Taylor, you know, she got on Undisputed. Joy Taylor's on Colin Cowherd's show. Joy Taylor ends up taking my spot on my show. And at that time, I didn't feel anything about it. At that time, I'm like, this is football. You know what I mean? Somebody just beat me out. She just started running back. You know what I mean? But things have changed. Things have flipped. Things are different. Because as all my people kept telling me, yo, Joy Taylor and all that was happening there, let me just tell you this, Wiley, it's real. And I was like, nah, it can't be real. So I still was like, it can't be real. Now, there are receipts out there that can show that how real it is. That's not my job to provide or show, but people have really hit me up with that. And I'm like, God dang. I am not in Kentucky, you fools. Where y'all think I'm at? Let's see. Where y'all think I'm at? Pretty dope, huh? I'm better off holding this shit. Just keep sliding anyway. So let's talk through it. So the Joy Taylor stuff and the allegations and the lawsuit, there's ways that you can find out how real that is, right? You can go back. You can talk to her ex-husband. You can talk to her ex-fiance. You could talk to people who are around there, the people in the lawsuit. There's some real receipts out there. But I'm only talking from the perspective of what's real and what's fake. You think it can't be true. Maybe it is true. This is Joy Taylor's lane. This is why Joy Taylor had to be released. Because Charlie Dixon lost his job earlier this year after the second lawsuit. Y'all remember that? Did y'all catch that headline? So Charlie Dixon was put on administrative leave, which y'all know. All right. All right. I like that one.
Okay, guys. So, we don't have to get into, all the details, but as you could see, Marcellus Wiley, he speaks out about this. Okay. He speaks out about Joy, Charlie Dixon, all of it. He goes through just like this whole story about how essentially like he was hearing a lot of things while he was working at the network. He was put on game that they were out there trying to steal his job, and that, he had a target on his back. He was a moving target, and he knew for a while, and he also he knew about Joy and Emmanuel Acho, apparently, that they were sleeping together, and she was using different men to get ahead. Now, again, this is still alleged. We don't know if it's actually true, but it doesn't look good. The news about Joy Taylor is not good. I'm curious to see if she's going to land somewhere. Gilbert Arenas is offering her a job. He's offering all of them, some time on his show. So he's hiring. That's what he said. So, I think the big question is, will the fired analysts from FS1 be missed by NBA fans? I'm only going to miss Paul Pierce. So I'm looking for him to come back on air. I'm watching. I'm like, okay, well, when what's going to happen with the truth? Is he going to come back? I want to hear more of his storytelling. I want to hear more of his opinion on today's game and modern NBA players and how they compare to his time. But I'm not interested in Joy Taylor, honestly. I never really thought she was a great analyst. So I'm not here to say that she was sleeping her way to the top. That's not what I'm going to sit here and say. I'm just going to say that I'm not going to miss Joy Taylor. I'm not going to miss Emmanuel Acho. I thought he was god awful. I thought he was a race baiter. I thought that he, was just, I just think he's so ugly inside and out. LaShawn McCoy, I just felt like he was a go along, get along, follower. I don't think he really had anything too much to say that I found to be so enlightening. Keyshawn Johnson, I didn't like any of his basketball takes for the most part. Yeah, I am only going to miss Paul Pierce. So that's my take on FS1 and the firings. I think they all deserved it. Anytime you are in a high profile position and you are accused of, something of this magnitude, I think that it's best for, the network to move away from you at this point, and to get that kind of stain off of their network, and to, start over with a fresh crew. So if they can retain someone like Paul Pierce, they certainly should. And, I think that there'll be more to come on that. So curious to know what you guys think and what your thoughts are. Drop me a line in the comments. Before I head out tonight, what I do want to do is take a moment to read the rest of the super chats that came through. Let's see. Alrighty, we have a $4.99 super chat from John Wayne. The bastard from Akron and his firstborn remind me of a trailer for a summer movie. The commercial and hype only set you up for disappointment. Hilarious. Genitens, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Hello from Australia. I'm a bricklayer down under. Why aren't I paid millions for doing the same job as Bronny? I have no clue. He's just laying bricks. LeBricky. LeBricky Jr. Will for real. Salute to you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. LeBron and his apologists need the world to forget Kobe because mentioning him exposes LeBron as the overhyped, overrated, ped-using choke artist he is. Sheesh. Wow. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I've had an amazing time with you all. It's been a lot of fun. And I love the engagement in the chat. Do me a favor, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share the video. If you like Sports Tea, you like the community that we're building, share this video with your friends, your family, on your social media, and let's blow the network up to be huge. Really and truly, I'm so grateful for you all joining the stream. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, okay? And thanks again. I'll see you guys soon. I'll be probably back in here tomorrow. There's some other topics that I really want to address that have been really, really good. And we have some more off-season stuff to get into. So thank you so much, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Have a great night. Get some rest. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.